Hello, welcome to my bookshelf, and today I have a crazy huge TBR for the month of December. And the reason for that is just because my classes are ending next week. So I'm gonna have a lot of free time, and it's the holidays, and I want to read a lot this month. So I have a very ambitious TBR. Um, I have 5 books that have been on previous TBRs throughout the year, but I never actually finished them, and I want to actually do that. And then I have a huge stack, which is just ambitious in and of itself, for just December that I want to read. So books that you haven't seen before. So I'm going to quickly go over the 5 that I've already mentioned before previously, and I probably won't go into too much detail. I'll just kind of show you what they are so I can jump into the new books. The first book that I've already had on a previous TBR, and I think I've had it on for a little bit now, is called A Long Way Gone, Memoirs of a Boy Soldier. And honestly, I think the title really just says it all, and that's really all I know about it. There it is on the back. It sounds like a really interesting, really important story, and I'm excited to get to it finally. The next book is a short story collection, and that is The Elephant Vanishes by Haruki Murakami. I've read 2 of his novels before, but I haven't read any short story collection from him before, so I am very curious to see what this is like. He tends to write magical realism, so I'm just gonna assume that those kinds of elements are in this short story collection, but I don't actually know. We shall find out in time. So there's that. The next of which is also a short story collection, that is Stay Awake by Dan Chan, or Dan Chian. I'm not really sure. Could be neither of those. Either way, I have started this one actually, so here I am. I'm not quite halfway through it, but I've read, I think, 2 of the short stories, and I just started the 3rd. I think that this cover is very fitting, like if you can see it. It's very mysterious, and you're not really sure what's going on. That is very fitting for this. It kind of just like ends, and I'm like, but I thought there's more to this story. I want more. So it kind of leaves you hanging so far with the couple stories I have read. They're very interesting and intriguing, but I want more. So I'm enjoying it, but I'm kind of like, I'm not sure how I feel about it yet. So there's that. Okay, so the next book that I have is huge. And it is 11/22/63 by Stephen King. Yeah, did not get to any of this book, sadly. All I know about it is that I guess someone travels back in time and prevents JFK's assassination, and then, things happen. I'm sure it's not as happy as we would all like it to be. But yeah, that's what I know about it. It sounds interesting. It also sounds different for Stephen King, which I appreciate. I'm very intrigued to see what it's like. But yeah, so there's that. It's huge. We'll see how I do with that. And then the last one that I've had on a previous TBR, this is, okay, so it says Ship of Thesis by V.M. Straka, but this is actually S by J.J. Abrams and Doug Durst. The book itself is almost like its own character, and it's like part of the mystery itself. So if you look inside, there's like annotations. I'm being careful because there's also inserts in here as well. Like here's one. Guess it's a photo. But basically, like there's this book that's, not like a true book. Like this is not a real book in our world. But these 2 people, they're writing in the margins to each other, and they're trying to figure out, I guess, something about the author of the book, or I don't know. There's just some kind of mystery going on, and then they leave things in the book for each other, and it's kind of this back and forth, and it has a really interesting premise to me, and I'm really curious to see what it's like. I've started it just a little bit. I'm just like on the intro to the book, so we're just getting started, and it's interesting, and I'm not sure how to read it yet. I'm kind of getting there, because I'm like, do I read the normal text of the book first, or do I read the outsides? And I'm kind of jumping back and forth, and I'm kind of figuring out how to best do it, but I really enjoy it. I feel like it's time consuming, and I need to put down the time and effort, so hopefully I'll be able to finish it this month. Okay, so now let's just jump into all new books for my TBR. The first 2 are Christmas books, and they're both pretty ridiculous, actually. The first of which is kind of a straight up joke, and that is A Christmas Caroline by Kyle Smith. I say it's a joke because I got this as a Christmas gift from my best friend last year. And she got it because she thought it was going to be ridiculous and over the top, and she knows I love reading, and so it's kind of a joke that way. So I'm not sure how to feel about it. So it's supposed to be like a play on, A Christmas Carol, and our main character here is Caroline, and she's the Scrooge of the story, and yeah, that's all I know about it. I'm curious. I'm not sure if it's going to be funny on purpose or not. Like, the reviews on the back say that's really funny, but I don't know if it's meant to be funny. Maybe it is, and the joke's all on me and my friend. I don't really know. So we'll see. I have that. The next Christmas one is On Holy Night by Seth Grahame-Smith. He wrote Pride, Prejudice, and Zombies, and Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter, so just ridiculous stories. So this will probably be ridiculous as well. I am a little nervous because, the topic is like the three wise men, and, as a Christian, like, one of the most important things that happened, in our, religious history, I want to make sure that it's not like too like irreverent. Like I think I'm pretty easygoing. Like, I'm not easily offended or anything like that. I just want to make sure that it's not kind of going to the realm where I should feel bad about enjoying it. You know what I mean? So I'll be really curious to see how I feel about this. I've heard some good things about it. So from people's opinions that I do trust, I'm hoping that it is something I can enjoy and not get too worried that they're making fun of Christianity or something. I don't think that this is what this book is. So we'll see what happens. That's really all I know about it, is that it's just the ridiculous, over the top story of the three wise men on their journey, which apparently is really bloody. So that'll be interesting to read, to say the least. The next book I hope to read is called American Gods by Neil Gaiman. And I didn't know, but I guess this is the first book in a series. Apparently Goodreads says that this is a series. I didn't know that. It's been turned into a TV series. I do know that. I have not seen it. I've only read one Neil Gaiman book before this. It was very short, but I did really enjoy it. So I'm very intrigued to read more from him. And I honestly don't know anything about this book. So I'm really just reading it because of Neil Gaiman and because I've heard good things about the show. And I'm really intrigued. So gonna see what it's like. It's also kind of big, so we'll see how I do. But I also really like this cover, so that's exciting. So yeah, Neil Gaiman, can't go wrong, right? Hopefully. The next book I want to read is called The Slap. And I'm not even going to try to pronounce the author's name. I really don't want to offend anyone. I will not pronounce it correctly. What I do know about this book is that it's told from different perspectives of people who were all, I'm assuming they were all at this event. There was this neighborhood barbecue, and I guess a man slaps another couple's child. And, chaos ensues, if you will, I guess, or something happens, and that's what the story is about. It just has a really interesting premise. I was also curious that it was apparently turned into some mini-series at some point in the past, which is kind of cool, with a lot of awesome actors and actresses, which is cool. So yeah, I'm really intrigued. Moving right along, the next book I hope to read is Uncle Tom's Cabin by Harriet Beecher Stowe. Again, all I know about it is very, broad strokes, that it takes place during slavery in America. I don't know, pre-Civil War era. So not exactly the best time period, sadly, in our history, but it's a really important time period to talk about and to be familiar with, so we don't make those same kinds of mistakes. I still, to this day, cannot fathom this idea that, slavery even happened. But it did, and it really wasn't that long ago in our history, which is just so disheartening. But hopefully we've moved far from that. But, I think with everything going on in the world, I think we can all admit that, we need to be more aware of our history and what has happened in the past, so we don't make the same mistakes. So that's really all I know about this. I've heard really good things about it, so I'm very excited to read this for Christmas and to talk about it with my family, who has also been reading it this year, so we can kind of have a book chat at home, so that'll be fun. The next book, I don't really know how to pronounce the title of the book even. I think it's called Mr. Penumbra's 24-Hour Bookstore by Robin Sloan. I kind of really like this cover, even though like the coloring of the cover is like really intense. I'm not a huge fan of that, but it's grown on me a little bit. And sad to say, I honestly don't know anything about this book. It was a couple years ago now, but I listened to a podcast where they review books, and they were talking about this book, and at the time, whatever they were talking about, it sounded really interesting, and they seemed to really enjoy this book. So I went out and I got it, and I've kind of had this for a while, and so I figure, why not just read it now? So yeah, I really don't know anything about this book, though I'm sure it involves a 24-hour bookstore. Moving right along, the next book is The Cuckoo's Calling by Robert Galbraith, aka J.K. Rowling. I actually had started this book about the same time that I found out about that last book I mentioned. I was probably like a fourth of the way through the book, and I stopped. Not because the book was bad, just because my life got hectic, and I didn't know how to prioritize things, and so I just waited too long to pick it up again, and then my memory just isn't that great, so then I was like, wait, what is going on? Who, what? And I was just really confused, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna have to just start over, and I didn't want to start over, so then I just put it aside, and here I am, finally picking it up again, now that I've more or less forgotten. I mean, I know, like, general broad strokes, like the setup, but I really don't remember the details at this point, so we'll see how I feel about it when I can actually, like, dedicate the time to read it, instead of just putting it down, unfortunately. So I'm hoping to enjoy this book. I also have the second one in the series, because it's like a detective series, which is kind of cool. And yeah, this will be the first book, other than, you know, the Harry Potter series of J.K. Rowling's that I have read, so I'm really excited about that too. I think it'll be good, so I'm excited for that. The next book that I want to read is actually kind of short, which is nice. It's called Down Came the Rain by Brooke Shields, and like the subtitle says, it's her journey through postpartum depression. So this is nonfiction. This is her like actually telling you what it was like for her to experience postpartum, and I'm assuming how she dealt with it and things like that. I think this is a really important topic. I don't think it's talked enough about. And I love psychology. Counseling is what I'm doing, so I am really excited to read up on this and kind of see someone's personal experience with postpartum and hopefully gain some interesting insight on it. So there's that. There's still 2 more books. Like, this is insane. Okay, the next book I hope to read in December is The Woman in Cabin 10 by Ruth Ware. I really don't know that much about this book either. I've heard mixed reviews on this one. I've heard that it gets kind of weird halfway through. Not sure what they mean. I don't mind weird things in general, but I guess it depends what they mean by weird, so we'll see how I feel about it. My understanding is that this is like a thriller, some mystery. I don't know if it's like a murder mystery. I don't think so, but I could be wrong. I'm not really sure. I really love this cover, and because I think people are kind of, you know, like, I've heard different things about this book, and I'm like, I would just want to know how I feel about it, you know? So I think it's time. Okay, and we're finally at the last book that I hope to read this month. I'm going to probably put this one at a higher priority, and that is This Star Won't Go Out by Esther Earl. I recently won this in a giveaway that Leah and 26 Letters put on, and again, I'm so thankful for her. She is awesome. Go check her out. And yeah, so she came up with this giveaway idea that she hopes to continue in the future, to give away books that she has given 5-star ratings to, you know, to spread the love, which I really like that idea. So I've always wanted to read this book. I heard about it years ago, but I never read it. I've never even really seen a copy of this before, to be honest, in person. So I didn't know just how big it is or like heavy it is. It's like a hefty book, which is awesome. Yeah, so I'm really excited about this book, not only because I won it in a giveaway, but also just because I've heard good things about this book and about her. And so I'm just really excited to read it myself. Um, yeah, I don't really have anything else to say about this other than I'm just really excited to get to it. All right, and that is my crazy ambitious December TBR. If I did my math right, that was 15 books. My goodness, that's like, oh wow, that's almost a book for like every other day. Like, that's intense. Ooh. Yeah, we'll see if I can really do that or not. I mean, admittedly, I'm not gonna have school to worry about, so like this is my opportunity to really like up the ante and read 15 books in December. It'd be really nice to do that because then I could like start on a fresh note. Like maybe I should have made it less ambitious so I could finish on a fresh note, but this is me we're talking about. I like to push myself like to crazy, crazy potential. Um, I can't, it doesn't feel right if I only have like 3 or 4 books that I'm hoping to read in a month. Like it seems like I'm giving up if I do that, and I don't want to do that. So here I am with a super ambitious TBR. My track record hasn't been the best in the past, but admittedly, I've never had as much time to read in the past, so I should be able to do this. So we'll see what happens. We'll track my progress. I'm going to try really hard. December should be interesting just because like there's a lot of end of the year like videos I think that people make. I'll have to see. I've never done this before. Like this is my first like Christmas on YouTube. I started in February, so I'm not really sure what everyone else does, but I'll be really excited to kind of put that together. But I'm gonna have to like finish these books to really say like, oh, what my favorite or the worst were of the year, because there's 15 books here and I need to talk about them. Because they might be on these lists, I don't even know. But either way, rant aside, it should be a good holiday season and I'm very excited for it. So with that, I just want to, as always, thank you guys for watching this video, and until next time.